Welcome back into watching Commodity Champions, where we are discussing dry fruits, nuts, and of course, super seeds there. Gunjan, this one is to you. And with opportunities comes concerns as well. And in this way, there is the import duty, especially in case of walnuts, which really seem to be making business slightly haywire there. What's your sense on this? What are the kind of representations that you have made to the government regarding this one?
So yeah, that's the one thing. When I talked about the growth that walnuts have moved from 18,000 tons to 80,000 tons, that's notwithstanding the fact that they are probably among the most expensive in India today. We have a 100% tariff on walnuts. The honorable government, in its right, did it right when they wanted to protect the Kashmir grower. But what I can say is that even today, the Kashmir crop gets finished very quickly because India's Kashmir crop is only about 28,000 tons, and the Indian consumption has already gone to about 80,000 tons. So we really need that 50,000. And out of this 28,000 tons, India still exports close to about 8,000 tons of value-added product that we do in walnuts, which has been traditional from Kashmir. So we basically have a shortfall of 60,000 tons, and this shortfall will keep increasing. Walnut is one of the healthiest commodities around. It's great for your brain. It's great for your heart. There are so many studies now which tell about the all the various health benefits of walnuts. It's the main non-fish source of omega-3s. So India being a vegetarian country, again, this is a very major nut that is needed for the Indian population for our omega-3s. However, the current tariff is so high that it is only reaching still a part of the upper echelon and maybe the upper middle class. There is a lot more scope. We really want that this commodity should reach down to as many Indian population as possible. It's a healthy alternative. It's for proteins. So in order to do that, we would request, there have been some representations and we move it forward to take the tariff down to a slightly realistic level where we can compete with other commodities on that. The second is that even if we can make the tariff on a per kilo basis so that we go out with the vagaries of the market fluctuations, and everybody knows that this is the kind of level that they have to pay in terms of tariff. So if we're already making representations as an association to the honorable government to work on that. Overall, if this commodity increases, just for an example, China consumes similar population, but they consume 800,000 tons. So I feel even with a slightly lower tariff, and if we are able to do a per kilo tariff that is in almonds, we'll see a huge rise in the overall imports, and the overall revenue of the government will in fact increase even with a lower tariff because the commodity will start getting consumed so much. We're also working to grow this more in India with such a campaign. When more and more consumption increases, again, the Kashmir farmer will be enticed to grow more of this. We've recently entered, NDFC has done we've been pivotal in getting a MOU done between the Chilean Nut Association and Walnut Growers Association of Kashmir. Got them together. We are also doing production, increased growing of walnut opportunities in India because this is a tree which once starts giving you fruit. From year 7, it will give you fruit till year 100. So then once you plant a tree, it's not just for you, it's for the next generation
generations
also.
as well.
So
All right.
on both sides.
Absolutely. So one is the import duty, and of course the other is ensuring that India itself produces enough. Yash, this question is to you. So that's exactly my point. The import dependency is quite strong, and the other side really is the value addition as well. And between imports and value addition and growing it in India as well, where does India stand right now?
So India has been a cashew and a raisin grower as well as a processor. We have lost out in the last 7 to 10 years to Vietnam as a cashew processing hub. But I think post-COVID, most nations have started looking at India as another alternative for manufacturing. We are witnessing greater investments into infrastructure just to match the global food safety standards. And India is clearly coming out as a credible option for most nations which want to process it in India. Added to that, we have the production-linked incentive schemes by the government that I'm sure will boost a lot of investments in the food manufacturing and the branding space. And nuts and dry fruits are great candidates given their long shelf life that can be very well exported across the world. So I'm pretty hopeful that the next 3 to 4 years is going to we're going to add a lot of foreign dollars to our export volumes, and nuts and dry fruits are going to be right up there.
All right. As the market is growing and as there is just so much bullishness, Deepak, do you see more and more players now entering the segment, and is there enough space for everyone?
Today, we are seeing active interest from many PE players, many venture capitalists, trying and investing in the sector. So in the last 2-3 years, 4-5 years, quite a few deals have happened where people have invested in, in many brands. And we just had a company getting listed, raising money from the primary market from the same sector.
Okay.
And so this is what it is happening. So with the growth and with the overall relevancy, because every big corporate, they see this first thing that they see is the overall market cap, overall market potential. So with that, we have from the house of Tata, from Patanjali or ITC or Marico,
right,
that, people are already active in this sector. So they are either there is an in-house brand which is getting created, or organically or inorganically they are, acquiring few brands from the market.
Absolutely.
So the names that I mentioned, even Patanjali is now entered in and forayed into the same thing. So
Clearly,
with the names that I'm saying, this sector is getting interest from a lot of big players with the numbers we are seeing.
And smaller ones as well, and you said, and I wish and I hope there are more IPOs coming in from your sector as well. And it's not just about dry fruits, right, Gunjan? Because there is, I was reading a report that fresh fruits are more expensive than some of the dry fruits as well. So dry fruits clearly seem to be on the up there, and they have a better shelf life. So there is more interest there. Seeds seem to be doing well as well. So what is the growth that you're seeing there?
So, on the dried fruit side, this was a new concept when we had the berries and the dried fruits coming in to the Indian market. I remember as an importer, the first container of cranberries we imported, it took us 4 months to sell because we had to tell everybody what the product was.
Right.
And now it's reached a stage where India is importing 800 tons already and growing among fastest, and that's just one. So you name anything: cranberries, blueberries, hazelnuts, macadamia nuts, dried kiwi, dried apple. So we are seeing price points which are now very competitive to the fresh. Fresh, although it can't reach everywhere in time, the dried, getting the best from across the globe, it can reach in time to the nooks and corners. It can be used as an excellent nutrition supplement over a fresh. So while the fresh, we don't want to talk anything about the fresh being negative. The fresh is great. It's always been great. This is just an additive you can get wherever you don't feel that fresh is available. And fresh will always be seasonal, so pricing will go up and down a lot. On a dried platform, on a dried form, you can have uniform pricing across the year, and that's what has happened. We've had uniform pricing for fresh to a dried kiwi, and that has resulted to huge increase in consumption.
I can tell you that I'm one of the consumer there as well, but I have a last minute, and Sameer, last time I heard you speak was about almond, and Badam khane se akal aati hai is something that has been a tagline for the longest time in the Indian markets. Do want to understand on how much does India import? What are the almond prices right now? And what's your sense on the demand on this one?
Yeah, no, India is right now the largest export market for California. And you just mentioned, Badam khane se akal aati hai. I call it a miracle nut. Before and during the exams, kids have been fed almonds to increase their intelligence. And it really works. So going with that, the imports into India have really gone up. And what has really helped is the pricing of almonds. The pricing of almonds has really defied the inflationary trend across the globe. Almonds are cheaper in 2024 than they were in 2010 in India. Now that is unique, right? You don't see that with any other commodity maybe. And that is something that has fueled this phenomenal consumption of almonds in India. Not only in the form of traditional way of soaking it in the water and eating it, but also as a snack, also as an ingredient. If you look at the new innovation that is coming around the world and especially in India, a lot of sweets, chocolates, a lot of bakery stuff, biscuits and all are being now made from almonds. So it is really one of the most robust and most unique nuts where it can be really used as anything, and it really goes well with that. And so going with that, we do see India growing at an average 15-20% each
Okay.
year almond consumption.
Wow, those are big, big numbers, and that's all about the nuts and dry fruits and super seeds that our panel is all talking about. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for taking time out with us at CNBC TV 18 and giving us those great, grand numbers that the sector is anticipating going forward onto this one. With that, that's all the time that we have on Commodity Champions. Thank you for watching.